What is your life motto?
Never, never, never give up.
Ooh, that's good.
Or do hard things. Or if you're scared to do it scared.
Yes. Okay. How do you define success, and how has that definition evolved over time?
So should I start with what it used to be or what it is now?
Start with what it used to be and how it evolved. Yeah.
I don't know if initially I really had a definition of success beyond survival.
Yeah. What, your husband wasn't providing for you?
It's a weird question to ask.
That is a weird one. I wouldn't ask that.
We were struggling
a
lot and working really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And the goal was always the next dollar, the next meal.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure children were eating and the lights were on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really believe that more was possible beyond that for a long time. Mm-hmm. But my definition of success now is being a decent human being, like functioning with integrity and honesty in every interaction to the best of my ability. And when I fail, making a correction. And also in terms of financial success, I think being able to live according to the seasons, I think that defines success for me. So in the wintertime, being able to move more slowly, wake up a little later, go to bed a little earlier, read more, just kind of regenerate. And in the summer, spending more time, just, I guess, getting up with the sun and going to bed with the sun. Moving at the pace that nature moves according to the season. Having the freedom to be able to do that is a definition of success for me.
Love it. All right, so can you recall a pivotal moment that changed the course of your life?
Yeah. For good or for bad. Yes. I lost my whole church community when I was 20. I started over before I got started. Anyway, yep. Next question.
Yeah, next one. What's your favorite way to unwind and recharge?
Read a book and drink tea.
Nice. How often do you do that?
Probably more often than I should.
Nothing wrong with that. So how do you handle stress and maintain a work-life balance?
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper, 100%.
I have learned to say no to things.
That's a superpower, by the way.
I don't really have a huge workload anymore. It used to be that work was my entire life because like I said, we were surviving.
Mm.
So I was watching children, raising children, schooling children, and running a business. I was full-time both. There were seasons when I worked full-time in the office and had my children here. So I was full-time mom and full-time admin, and the children were here at the office all the time. There were times that I was training technicians on the truck and the kids were watching a movie in the car. There were lots of times when I had a baby napping in my arms and I was answering the phone. I should tell the story about that time. So normally when I worked from home, we had the office in the closet, and I would do as much with the kids while they were awake and just kind of monitor what was going on. But then I would go in the closet and make phone calls while they were napping. And we had a problem one day. I don't really remember what it was, but I was on the phone with a customer and the children were awake. And it started out fine because they were playing. I don't know, how old were Logan and Abigail then? They were probably 4 and 5,
That's what I'm
maybe.
thinking, 4 and 5, yeah.
Okay, and then something happened, and they needed me. They needed me urgently, and they were making a lot of noise, and I couldn't get away from them. But I had to have this conversation on the phone, and so I went outside to get away from them, and they followed me. And so I was running, literally running around the house, and they were chasing me. And I was trying to sound like I wasn't out of breath, talking to this customer on the phone and trying to stay just far enough ahead of my children that the customer wouldn't hear them. And I probably did not succeed, but that's one I won't ever forget. So life and business were the same thing for a long time. And now that I'm out, it's kind of hard for me to answer this question because I'm not really working that much. I do like bookkeeping and help the kids run the gutter butter, but excuse me, it's pretty minimal these days. So I have it scheduled that I sit down and I do the bulk of the tasks at a specific time, and then I check the email for other things at a set time during the day so that it doesn't intrude on my life too much. But it's not really a fair question for me to answer because I never mastered it when I was actually busy.
You did a heck of a job. All right, so what book or movie that has had a profound impact on your life? Mine's like The Pursuit of Happiness. Will Smith crushed it in that one.
Book or movie? I got a few. Well, I'm just going to say probably Something's Not Right by Wade Mullen. Just because it offered a lot of clarity on the crazy making experience of the dynamics of like spiritual and emotional and mental type abuse, the way that people use words, spin words, twist things, and make you feel like you're the crazy person. He kind of put words to a lot of that, and it was very helpful to me in navigating a lot of things over the last few years. So it's probably not the first on my list, but it's a good one.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. So I want to take it back a little bit. So we're going to go back in that, when the kids were 4 and 5, we're living in the apartment complex. I ruined our credit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The kids were 4 and 5. We were living in a house, and when you ruined our credit, we had no children. We were pregnant with our first. So which time are we talking about?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So let's take it back when I ruined our credit before we had kids. We were just like launching the business. The economy was doing bad. Nobody was selling houses. And that one guy promised me that he was going to give us 10 homes to wash a week. So tell me about that, like from your side, your perspective. What was that like for you?
Well, for starters, you actually ruined our credit buying vending machines.
Oh.
Not buying equipment for those promised
Oh,
houses.
got it. Okay, I've always thought of it was I bought the trailer, the water tank. I got everything. Oh, okay.
No, you sold your motorcycle to buy the trailer and the water tank.
Oh, that's right.
Because you had already ruined our credit. My credit, actually, to be clear, you had no credit. You ruined my credit.
My bad.
But yeah, you wanted to get into the vending, and
another crazy idea I had to talk you into.
Yeah, so I said buy one and see how easy it is to place, and you said, but look at the numbers. And they're on sale right now. That was the first of many many similar conversations.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I conceded because I was trying to be a good submissive wife. That's a whole other story. And we bought the vending machines, and they came, and it was so exciting. Remember, they filled up our entire apartment.
I'll never forget. They were everywhere. I felt like, I'm telling you, pursued the happiness and all the things.
I'm trying to think. I'm starting to wonder now if we actually got those when we lived. Logan might have been born. Logan might have been born. I don't know. We moved from Pelham right before he was born.
Mm-hmm.
But then I remember we had them stored in that garage over at Woodruff, so I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember which was which or when it happened. But regardless, I think we might have bought them before we moved.
I feel like we did.
How many did you place? I think 4.
No, we had more than that. I had all but like 5. So it was like 15.
But was it?
Yeah, because remember I did the whole White Horse Road.
Well, anyway, they were hard to place. They took forever to place. They made no money.
The top restaurant I did was like $50 a month. It's supposed to make like $250 a month.
Then one of them got dragged across the parking lot, right?
Yeah, they tried to break into it and get my quarters.
Anyway, then we sold them at a loss. And it really just came down to, do I default on the student loan that your parents co-signed, which I was not going to do, eat or make the credit card payment. And we missed a couple payments, and then it just got super far behind and got sent to collections, and that ruined my credit. And that was fine, though. I think it was good because it was a pretty minor thing, and it kept us from making a lot of other really stupid decisions along the way. Like, we just didn't have access to funding to make an even bigger mistake. And then eventually we did go back and pay off that debt, just for clarity. I'm clear about that. I made good on all of our debts. And yeah, that was, I mean, it was lousy at the time, and it was really stressful. Everything was stressful. And we were dumb.
We were young. I mean, we were super young.
Green behind the ears.
Remember when we bought the car? It was the vending machine, the cars, right out. We just got married. And I was like, oh, I'm going to buy you the Honda.
No. I bought the Honda before we ever got married.
Oh.
And we moved down here, and
Mhm.
everything was a hill at a red light, and I could not drive the stick
That's
well enough.
right. Yeah.
And so I threw in the towel, and we traded it in.
That's how we got my truck.
Yeah, we went in with one car and came out with two. Then we were upside down in both of them.
Yeah.
Lots of really dumb mistakes.
We had to pay $5,000
That was
to get rid of your car.
before, 4,000.
Oh,
This is why I can't do this, because you're like details, butter details. It's fine. Yeah, we managed to, I don't even know how we saved up $4,000 to get out of my car.
I don't remember.
And then we went and bought that 626, the little
The
626 for
Mazda.
$550.
$550. I buffed that thing for days. Had no clear coat.
No. And but that's how you got your truck, and that's how we started earning money.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that was a stupid decision, but it worked out well.
Yep.
And a lot of our stupid decisions worked out well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, looking back at that was like, oh my goodness.
we were a mess.
Yeah.
We didn't know anything about anything.
No.
But
We needed a vehicle though.
I mean, we were kind of shoved out into the world without any preparation at all.
That is true.
And we figured it out.
That's right.
So, yeah.
You know, I remember when I didn't buy a vacuum. I'll never forget that. I bought a 4-wheeler though.
Yeah, those were hard days too. I felt pretty invisible for a long time, but I also didn't feel like I was allowed to speak up. And that is also thanks to my religious programming. I think I spent a lot of years torturing myself, trying to live up to some ridiculous ideal that you were never holding me to, but my religious programming was holding me to it.
Mm-hmm.
And you, I don't know, what were you spending your early years doing? Just trying to prove that you could do something that everybody told you couldn't do.
Pretty much.
And I was trying to prove that I wasn't what everyone said I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. We missed each other a lot. Missed each other, not seeing each other, not understanding each other for a long time. And it's actually kind of a miracle that we are still married, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't fight a lot.
Mm-mm. We were focused on just surviving though.
Well, yeah, we were kind of more like, I guess, is it C.S. Lewis has that image where friends are facing this way against or towards something together, and people who are married are supposed to be facing each other, right? And I feel like for most of our marriage, it's been us against the world.
Mm-hmm.
And if we had not had to fight to survive, we would have been fighting each other.
Yeah.
So I think poverty was a good thing in a way, because we didn't have access to therapy. not because I'm not saying that not having access to therapy was a good thing. I'm saying that in lieu of therapy and actually fixing our problems, fighting the world kept us from tearing each other apart.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah, if we weren't fighting, well, I mean, we were fighting employees, customers, you name it. I mean, I think that's
just the world in general. We were fighting to stay alive.
Yeah, that's true.
To keep our kids alive. Kids that honestly we had no business having.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we did everything way too soon. got married too young, had kids too young, all the things. And just our individual trauma histories made life more difficult.
Yeah. I remember when we felt like we couldn't get ahead. Remember? Like we always did it the hard way.
We still do.
That's true. We still do it the hard way.
We still
I think
do.
we're getting a little better though. We don't go through the briars.
I mean, we did just
taking a
drive
path.
3 hours to Six Flags yesterday to find out that they
Oh,
were closed.
I didn't think you were gonna bring that up.
We still do things the hard way.
But we made lemonade out of lemons.
Well, we do
that
all the
day.
time. I think
That's true.
we have an ability to pivot. Josh Latimer talks about the bounce back rate,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think it's true that, I mean, probably our whole lives, but especially since I found my feet after my life exploded.
Mm-hmm.
And we got married and whatever, we've been able to pivot, to take something that's bad and just spin it in a way that we can make something good out of it,
Mm-hmm.
instead of being crushed by the overwhelm of stress, right? So constantly looking for the solution instead of being crushed by the problem. And I know when when the church stole my trial from me recently, I was talking to Melody, and because the attorneys were telling me what was going on, I was on this call with them and I was very upset. And I cried and I put my face in my shirt and I was bawling. And immediately I started asking, my brain went into, how can I make the best out of this? What are my options that are still available to me? And so I started asking questions that I'm not going to tell you what I was asking, because I got a lot of things going on that I'm not going to talk about yet. And so I was able to gather the information I needed to make the decision I needed to make. And then we've always been supported by an amazing family.
Mm-hmm.
My siblings just descended on me and stayed until 11 o'clock at night. And we came up with a new plan. And, Rachel was amazing. She just always steps right into the middle and helps figure it out. And so, I think our ability to pivot, to see the light shining through in whatever crack that might be in this horrible situation. And then having support from family. I mean, remember when my mom paid our rent that time?
Yeah.
If we missed the rent payment, not only did we miss it and have late fees, but the rent automatically went up by a lot.
Yeah.
And Mom did that. She also financed our box truck that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we made sure to pay her off really fast.
Yeah, we paid it off quick.
We did have support. And that was helpful. How many times my brothers stepped in and helped you with
cleaning out gutters.
So
that was when we didn't have any employees, and I was learning all that stuff, how to hire people, and hired so many of the wrong people. Oh my goodness. So many stories. But you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah. Sorry,
Hopefully.
that stemmed from the whole vacuum thing where, you bought the...
Yeah, well, I made it up, though. I got the Roomba now. I got you the Roomba now.
Four-wheeler, not a vacuum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very pregnant with Abigail.
Mm-hmm.
Hugely pregnant with Abigail. Crawling around the house on my hands and knees, sweeping with that little dustpan. And
mm-hmm.
you had to bring in the shop vac to vacuum the one carpet we had. Remember?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Man.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Four-wheeler, and also that motorcycle that looked like it got
yeah.
accident on your way there.
I did. I bought this Suzuki Katana. I don't know why, but every time I would go over to my friend's house or like to a cookout, they'd be like, "Who wrecked their motorcycle on the way here?" I mean, at least I put like little LED headlights on it. It was drivable.
We moved 1,000,000 times.
Yes.
How many times have we moved?
I'm pretty sure it was like 8 or 9.
We were in our first apartment for not even a whole year. So
Yep.
then we moved to.
You got your laundry stolen. All your clothes.
Not all my clothes, just all my underwear.
Yeah. I don't know. It's really weird.
From the laundry room, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we moved to Woodruff. And then to Greer, right?
Yep.
No.
No.
To Malden.
To Malden, yeah. 129.
And then we moved to Simpsonville to a house we could not afford.
That
We were
house
only
was
there
legit.
6
You remember it was like $1,200 a month. This is like what? How many years ago?
Abigail was 2.
Yeah.
13 years ago.
13 years ago.
We were only there 6
That was
months.
a mansion.
1, 2, 3.
The neighbors hated us. We were like.
That's because that's when you were starting. You had way too many vehicles for the
And
business
work
we were
trucks
running.
in the backyard, the box truck.
And then we made Gary the garbage can, and we put him in our front window.
Oh my word! That's when I started garbage can cleaning company. Gary the garbage can.
Savvy Clean.
Yep, Savvy Clean.
You sewed that whole thing.
I sewed the thing? Shut up! No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I
I designed it, but you did all the sewing.
Oh man! And I remember the PVC pipes and everything. It had a mouth with a tongue and the eyes, and we set it in the window to scare the neighbors.
They did not like us.
No, they didn't like us. You said I got a redneck eyeball.
Right. And then from there, that's when we went to Crestmont. We were there for 3 years. That was a record.
Where?
Crestmont.
Oh, yeah.
And then we moved to Greer, and we were there for 3.5 years.
That's right.
So what is that?
Started getting better.
5, 6 places that we lived, and then we moved to the house we're in now, and we bought. We've been there 9 years, so that's stability.
Yeah.
That's evidence of stability.
That's true.
Yeah.
But what a journey from each one of those, because we stepped it up. I remember when we were living at Crestmont Thornblade, that's when I got the company picture in front of the garages at the apartment complex.
Yeah, with all of your not employees.
Yeah, all our neighbors.
Oh my gosh.
Whoever could help. And then we landed the Marriott when we were living at that apartment complex. That's when we upgraded from the 1995 Astro van to the 01 Honda Odyssey, that the kids could watch movies while you were training
the kids
employees.
had seats.
Oh yeah, and they had
had
seats.
In the Astro van, the kids were ratchet strapped to the floor. Their car seats were, at first they were in the middle because they had ratchet straps that were welded to the floor. Remember that? I don't remember why those were there. But anyway, then we moved them so that one of each of them was strapped to the base of the front seats, because there were no rear seats in this car.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a real big pain in the neck to adjust the straps. So I always had to drive with the seat adjusted to Pat's height, because he couldn't get his knees in under the dashboard if it was adjusted to my height. So I had to hook my knee on the front of the driver's seat to hold myself forward enough that the other foot could reach the gas pedal and I could see over the steering wheel. So I would hang on to the steering wheel and hook my knee on the front of the seat
We
so
did
that
that
I
for
could
years.
drive. Anyway, then we finally got a minivan. That was good. And good too, because did we go right from the Astro van to the minivan?
Yeah.
And then we had Noah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good thing that
I know, we had to upgrade. I mean, it worked out good.
we needed another seat.
There was no way we were ratchet strapping 3 in that 95 Astro van that you couldn't even talk to yourself. It was so loud. So loud. We had the water tank in the back. Anyway.
Not all the kids were in there.
No, not while they were in there. Oh. But when we were driving. All right, so with that, right? So you were quiet. When we first got married, we were both very quiet. We were shy. We went to that first convention in 2008 with JL Pressure Washing, Jeff LaCourse.
That's what I was pregnant with Abigail.
Yep. I was scared to death to talk to anybody. but that event like changed our life.
I get confused on which was which, but yeah.
So that was the
I
one
don't
with the
think that's
mugs.
the time
I'll never
that
forget.
I know that that's not the time that we slept in the car.
Mm-mm.
So, because we didn't even have that van yet.
That's right.
But anyway.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what were some defining moments though, like in that changed you?
In that particular, is that where we met that guy who did the roof cleaning?
Yeah, it is.
I remember sitting behind that guy. I wish I knew his name.
I know.
And he turned around during one of the breaks and he was telling us about how they have this stuff that you just spray up on the roof and it cleans the roof. And we thought he was lying because at that point we were still using that roof clean
with a K.
From
still got scars from it on my ankles.
Sunbright Supply.
Yep.
And roof cleaning was a full contact sport. Thankfully, we didn't clean very many roofs because I think you probably damaged
It was
a roof or two.
It was safe, sweetie.
Was it?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Just a little bit of shingle, but
anyway, so then we started washing roofs that way, which I remember the first time you did it, you thought you were curling the shingles and. Remember?
Oh yeah, when I was using sodium hypochlorite.
Yeah, and
I called you, didn't I?
Yeah.
On the job site, I was freaking out. I'm like, ruin this person's roof.
Yes. That changed a lot of things. That made roof cleaning actually be profitable, and
yeah, that became our top service.
Yeah. Remember that roof you cleaned? I guess it wasn't too long after that. Do we have the box truck? I think. Yeah. You took the box truck to go clean that roof in Inman. We had $0 in our bank account.
Oh my word! This is the one that's on our flyer. That our the first flyer.
Yes.
Okay.
And he dug around in the seats in the Isuzu looking for change. And what did you find, like $1.30 or something?
It was $1.36.
And you put it in diesel.
In diesel, so not even a whole gallon.
And drove to Inman. And I mean, the customer had no idea what was going on.
Just
showed up and did the job, and was
like,
hoping that he was going to make.
I told you.
Going to make it home.
I'm like, I hope he pays in cash.
And then he did. He paid $600 in cash, and he made it to the gas station.
I don't know how. To this day.
But I think that's one of the things too about poverty is like being able. I mean, you're looking for the next meal. You're always wondering where the next meal is coming from, really. And that's really stressful. But also you get to see God show up in all the little details. And I'm glad that we had that experience.
Yeah. Well, we were just reading that book too, or it was talking about how like it shapes you going through. We were talking with our kids, right? Like not giving him everything. They have to go through the hard times.
Well, trying to find the balance between, like, I'm not in favor of traumatizing children on purpose. But I think it's a careful balance between like allowing them to struggle in certain ways so that they can build character, because character is forged in fire. I would not intentionally put my children through 90% of what we went through. But also, as they're getting older, I'm not going to make it easy for them. I'm not going to bail them out of the hard things. I'm not going to be, I don't know. It's just something that we've been talking about, how best to support our children while we also let them endure hard things.
Learn. Yeah. It's definitely, it's a balance for sure.
Yeah, I don't know where that line is.
I know. And I think about that for us, you know what I mean? Like, as we grew the business, I didn't know anything about business. You didn't know anything about business, right? We had to just do it. And then from the experiences, from customers, like getting their feedback and like running a business, like being a business owner. Because, I had somebody recently tell me, they're like you're a business owner or a leader, the way we handled things. Like, we didn't let a customer complaint go unnoticed. Like, we knew we had to be there because it was our reputation. Our business was an extension of us. So, like, when I was doing all those things, like, I'd get a complaint, I'd be right out there, like, the next day.
Right.
And so I was just thinking about those kinds of things. Like, where did that come from, right? Like,
It came from needing to eat.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I
getting
mean,
paid.
I don't know. And not just like trying to get fun money.
No.
Literally working to survive. So,
Yeah.
And there is no plan B.
That's true.
Like, there wasn't something to fall back on.
Mm.
So obviously you want it to be the best thing that it can be.
That's right.
You need to keep your customers happy. And I mean, online wasn't really as big of a thing when we were getting started as it is now. I remember placing ads in the Yellow Pages.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's even more important now because it's so easy to get online and leave a bad review.
Destroy some companies. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely sad, but also real too. You know what I mean? Like, I know we have 1 stars from Clip Flyers, but customers understand that. And so I think there's like a dynamic there of like just going for it, and doing the best you can and learning. But I think like business, like talking to customers and answering the phone really brought you out of your, I don't want to say shell, but like it brought both of us out of our comfort zones. Because I would never have ever spoke at an event, number one.
I had to stop going to events with you for a while because you kept sticking right next to me instead of going and meeting people.
I know. You were always
I was doing the same thing too, but I was never the face of the company and I didn't see any need to be. And this is really a male-dominated industry anyway. So I stopped going for a while because
I know. I was bummed out. I wanted you to come.
You needed me to stop coming because I wasn't going to start talking. It was one or the other.
This is true.
And I mean, I don't know if coming out of my shell is really the appropriate terminology, but I definitely developed a thicker skin.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned how to stick up for myself some. And that was good practice for other things. Remember that time that the police threatened to take our children from us?
I'll never forget. I was so angry. That was that hotel.
Yeah, hotel didn't pay us. And we went out to pick it. We went inside to talk to the manager first. We'd already placed a contractor's lien. Yep. And
well, give some context because this was a mistake I made. We cleaned the hotel. I didn't take pictures of the lights, the LED lights on the outside.
Yeah, well, you went during the day. You didn't go back at night to take pictures of the lights. And so then we washed the building. And then the man claimed that we put out some big section of the Holiday Inn light on the side of the building, which was going to be very expensive to fix. And
I had a friend.
We actually, you had a friend in the sign industry who said that light has been out for a long time and he won't pay to fix it because he's been trying to sell him.
Keeps putting
the service
Band-Aids on it, yeah.
But also, we found a picture from the day you started that you could tell that the light was already out in. We did find that. And so we negotiated, trying to get paid. And he owed us like just over $5,000, I think. And that was a big deal. Noah was a baby then.
$5,000 back then was...
Like, we had employees to pay and chemical to pay for. And then, we had to eat.
The lift?
Yeah. And so I pulled the plat to find out where the public right-of-way is. And first I called to find out. I called the county or the town, and they said, I guess I would find out if it's illegal when the police show up to ticket me. They wouldn't help me figure out where I was allowed to stand.
Of course not.
So I called Audrey because she's an architect and she understands drawings. And she helped me pull the plat and told me exactly where the public right-of-way is. And it was very clear on this plat. It was 33 feet from the center line on the road. And so we made signs and we went, and it was cold and windy.
It was cold. It was windy
Windy.
because we had the kids bundled up a little bit. And we
Yeah,
weren't
they
gonna
had
stay
their
there long,
blankets. The kids' sign said, "This hotel
but stiffed us.
won't pay my daddy." I think
Oh,
is
the
what it
kids'
said.
side. Yeah.
And yours said, "This hotel stiffed me."
Yeah.
Like whatever the dollar amount is. And we stood by the entrance so that everybody coming in would see us. And the manager called the police. We asked him if he would pay us before we went out there, and he would not. And so we went out, and he called the police. He said, "You are pissing me off right now." And I went inside. So then the police show up, and they pulled past us up to the hotel, and then pulled back down the driveway. He rolled down his window, and he said, "I'm gonna lock you up and take them babies."
Mm-hmm.
I was so mad.
Yeah, you were mad.
And he pulled around into the parking lot next door so that he was kind of closer to us. And then he starts telling me that I can't be there. And you put the kids in the car, I think, at that point.
He got out. He said Obama and their babies.
No.
Oh.
While I was talking to him, he was radioing back to his office, and he said,
right.
I said that I was exercising my right to free speech, and this was during the Occupy Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, "I got Obama and her baby out here mocking me because I said I was exercising my right to free speech." Anyway, I screamed at that cop, and I don't know where that came. Well, that was my mother instinct, I guess.
Yeah.
I surprised myself when I did it, and then he just kept insisting that I was in the wrong. And I said, "I'm in the public right-of-way." And he said, "Where is the public right-of-way?" And I said, 33 feet from that center line. And as soon as I said that, his whole demeanor changed.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, I was fine. I was operating within the law. Everything was good. Because I think he realized, I think that he thought that it was going to be easier to scare me away than to tell the hotel manager that I had a right to be there.
Yeah.
And I think he made a choice and chose the wrong person. And he found out that I knew what the law was, and he changed his tune, and he left and said, "Y'all are fine. You're operating within the law." And I was so mad, and I should have followed up. But we got paid.
We did.
The kids wondered for like a year after that. They were asking why the police wanted to take them away.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I got nervous about being outside with them for a while. That was a bad experience.
Yeah, it was.
Sometimes, I'm not sure if it was more beneficial than harmful. But it was kind of a notch or a rung on the ladder, I guess, toward being able to stick up for myself, defend myself, say what I needed to say when it was appropriate to say it, instead of shutting down and being quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That gets me into you dealing with workers' comp, and then all the things. There were so much.
Redone many audits.
Yeah, they just do the audit, half butt, and then you gotta owe all this money.
Well, see, the hard thing too is that we've tried to do everything so honestly the whole time that we've paid for it.
Yeah.
So when we were being honest about the fact that we had roofing exposure, I was having to do all this extra work to run payroll and all the codes so that we still had the coverage for roof exposure, so that if someone fell, they would be covered, we wouldn't be dropped. While a lot of our competitors were pretending they didn't have roofing exposure.
Yeah.
And so they were just running in 9014, and that's easy and it's cheap. And but I was, and maybe I shouldn't have been, I don't know, but super concerned about doing things above board. We lost our best salesperson because I refused to pay him under the table.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think in the long run, it's always worth it to be doing right thing the right way. But it was definitely harder in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
To do that, and more expensive. And so we ran into all these audit issues with workers' comp, which I'm still dealing with one right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's more complicated to run payroll that way, and because if they can shove payroll into the wrong code because of a little mistake, like the payroll company ran a salesperson ran their holiday pay in the wrong code, like a tech code, one time last year, and the workers' comp company is trying to shove all of their payroll into the higher code because of that one time that the code was wrong. So little things like that. But yeah, I think that we've had a lot of struggle just because we're stupid, but also because we've been committed to doing things the right way. And a lot of times it's easier to do it the wrong way. It's cheaper to do it the wrong way. But I personally don't believe that pans out in the end.
No, for sure. Definitely doesn't.
But I'm glad I'm out now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm done.
Yeah. That's nice, isn't it?
I learned my lesson and now I'm out.
There you go. Must be nice.
Now I'm homeschooling my children, trying to get them through high school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've always been homeschooling them, but I think maybe I'm doing a better job now. Maybe.
You did an amazing job. Well, there you have it, guys. I appreciate you tuning in to Community with Closers, because in reality, she really is a closer, as you can see. You're a closer.
I don't sell things.
You have sold things. But nonetheless, thanks for hopping on. Special episode with Shielagh. And thanks for being on. This is exciting. We got her on the podcast.
Yes.
All right.
Don't expect it to happen again.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Appreciate you. In the comments, go ahead and put, where you guys got started, what you were doing before you got into the industry. And we'll see you guys next week, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. All right. Take care. God bless.
No,